A man walks into a luxury store. He's not there to browse. He picks up a tote bag, the brown monogram pattern that half the women in his office carry. The price tag says $1,700. He turns it over. He runs his thumb across the surface. It does not feel like leather. He asks the salesperson what the material is. The salesperson says it is the brand signature Toile monogram. The man nods. He does not ask the follow-up question. Neither did most of the 40 million people who bought one. The follow-up question is, what is Toile monogram? The answer is cotton canvas coated in PVC, a plastic coating on a woven fabric. The leather trim on the handles is real. The main body is not. LVMH, the conglomerate that owns Louis Vuitton, controlled by Bernard Arnault, whose net worth sits above $150 billion, reported 79.2 billion euros in revenue in 2022. The fashion and leather goods division runs at approximately a 40% operating margin. On a $1,700 bag, roughly $680 lives between what it costs to produce and what you paid. The salesperson did not volunteer that number. The brand does not display it at point of sale. This video is about where your money actually goes when you buy from certain European luxury brands, and about 5 American-made alternatives where the money goes into the product instead. You have worked for your money. A man should know what he is paying for. If you enjoy these videos, support the channel by subscribing and liking. Thank you. Before naming names, 3 tests. These are not opinions. They are documented construction standards used by craftsmen, cobblers, and tailors for over a century. The first is construction method. A suit's interlining can be fused or floating. Fused means it is bonded to the fabric with heat. Floating canvas means it is hand-sewn and moves independently with the body. A Goodyear welted shoe has a separate strip of leather, the welt, stitched between the upper and the outsole. A Blake-stitched shoe has a single stitch that passes through the outsole and insole in one passage. These are not matters of taste. The construction method determines how long a product lasts and whether it can be repaired. The second test is repairability. Can the product be resoled, relined, and passed on? Or is it a one-use purchase dressed in heritage language? The third test is material honesty. Does the brand tell you what the material actually is, in enough detail to verify? Coated canvas is not leather. A fused suit is not bespoke tailoring. Real quality does not need to shout. It also does not need to obscure. Those are the tests. Now the brands. LVMH's fashion and leather goods division has run operating margins around 40% for years. The Louis Vuitton Neverfull retails between $1,700 and $2,000. The Speedy, the Keepall, the Alma, the same coated canvas runs across the entire entry-level product range. PVC-coated cotton. The logo is what you are paying for. The bag does not age the way leather ages. Leather develops a patina. Coated canvas chips and peels. Repairs are limited and expensive. Bernard Arnault's margin on your $1,700 bag was approximately $680. That money did not go into the construction. The label should not be doing all the work. At this price point, the label is doing all of it. You paid $1,700 for PVC canvas and a monogram. The margin tells you who benefited most from that transaction. Gucci's GG Supreme canvas, the signature beige and brown monogram pattern, is a polyester-backed PVC fabric. Same category as LV's Toile monogram. Gucci sneakers retail at $800 to $1,200. The construction is comparable to mid-market athletic footwear. The materials do not justify the price differential. Here's what tends to surprise people. Gucci was in serious financial decline in the early 1990s. The brand had been so badly managed and overextended that it was nearly worthless. The value of the brand today was not built on product innovation. It was rebuilt from essentially zero by Domenico De Sole and Tom Ford through a marketing and celebrity association campaign. The premium you pay on a Gucci product today is, in large part, the residual cost of a marketing strategy deployed 30 years ago. Kering, the Paris-based conglomerate that owns Gucci, has reported operating margins on the brand ranging from 32% to 38%. The logo was built by a campaign. The premium you pay today is the maintenance cost of that campaign. The next brand is different. The heritage is genuine. The question is what they did with it. Burberry was founded in 1856 in Basingstoke, England. Thomas Burberry invented gabardine fabric, a genuine innovation. That heritage is real. What happened next is the question. Through the 1990s and 2000s, Burberry licensed its check pattern so broadly that the result was counterfeit proliferation and an association with cheap sportswear. The brand spent years trying to undo. When Burberry discovered it had diluted its own premium, the response was documented. In their 2017 to 2018 annual report, the company disclosed destroying £28.6 million worth of unsold goods. BBC News covered it. The product was manufactured, then burned, not discounted, not donated, burned, to protect the price point. The Heritage Trench Coat is a genuine product, made in England. But made in England applies only to a limited selection of Burberry's outerwear. The majority of the product range is manufactured elsewhere. A Burberry gabardine trench retails at $2,000 to $2,400. A comparable British-made trench from a smaller manufacturer runs $600 to $900. The heritage story is doing more selling than the trench coat. The coat is good. The story is charging you an extra $1,200. Hugo Boss was founded in 1924 in Metzingen, Germany. Hugo Boss AG is publicly traded on the Frankfurt Exchange. Suits retail at $600 to $1,400 at department stores. The German Precision Association is central to the brand's positioning. The construction does not support it. The majority of Hugo Boss suits are fully fused. The interlining is bonded to the fabric with heat. After repeated dry cleaning, the bond degrades. The fabric separates from the interlining, producing visible bubbling across the chest. It is not reparable. A half canvas or full canvas suit has an interlining that is hand-stitched, floats freely, moves with the body, and does not bubble. It costs more to produce. It is also what the word tailoring historically meant. Hugo Boss manufacturing runs primarily in Turkey, Ukraine, and Eastern European facilities. The price says tailoring. The construction says mass production. The difference is in the interlining, and the interlining is glued. Not every brand in this category earns the same verdict. The next one requires a more careful look. Hermès deserves a more precise answer than the others. Founded in Paris in 1837, family controlled 11.6 billion euros in revenue in 2022. And some Hermès products genuinely justify their price. The Birkin and Kelly bags are each handmade by a single artisan, require 15 to 25 hours of work per bag, use documented full-grain leather, and hold or appreciate in value. If the question is whether some Hermès craftsmen earn their reputation, the answer is yes. The question is what most Americans are actually buying. A Hermès leather belt retails at $450 to $650. It is a strap and a buckle. The leather quality is good. Without the H-buckle and the orange box, it is not a $450 belt. A Hermès silk tie retails above $250. The construction is genuinely good, but Drakes of London and comparable American tie makers produce equivalent quality at $85 to $150. The brand charges the Birkin halo across its entire range, from products that earn it to accessories where the logo is doing the work. Some Hermès products are worth every dollar. Most of what Americans actually buy from Hermès is the orange box. Salvatore Ferragamo was founded in Florence in 1927. The company went public on the Milan Stock Exchange in 2011. Dress shoes retail at $500 to $900. The construction method is predominantly Blake stitching. Blake stitching is a legitimate method, lighter and sleeker than the alternative. But the limitation is structural. Resoling requires specialized equipment, and the insole is typically replaced along with the outsole. After 2 or 3 resoles, the structural integrity is compromised. The practical working life is limited. A Goodyear welted shoe operates differently. The welt acts as a buffer. The outsole is replaced without touching the insole or upper. The shoe can be resoled as many times as the leather holds. The Italian craftsmanship positioning sells a premium over alternatives that may outlast it by a decade. American buyers may be paying more for the label than the construction. At $700, the Goodyear Welt is more American than Italian, and the shoe built around it will likely still be on your feet when the Ferragamo is retired. Montblanc was founded in Hamburg in 1906 and is now owned by Richemont, the Swiss luxury conglomerate based in Geneva. The Meisterstück 149 fountain pen retails above $1,100. It is well made. It is not the best pen available at the price. The Pilot Custom 823 and the Sailor 1911 Large, both Japanese, retail between $200 and $300. Pen specialists consistently rate the Japanese nibs as mechanically equivalent or superior to the Meisterstück. The price difference is not the nib, it is the white star on the cap. Montblanc leather goods, briefcases, wallets, travel accessories, run at significant premiums above their functional quality. The Meisterstück design dates to 1924 and has not changed significantly. You are paying for 100 years of brand story. You are not paying for 100 years of product improvement. If the white star matters to you, you already know. If you are asking whether it should matter, it probably should not. There is a second half to this. Because the point is not just to know what is overpriced. The point is to know what to buy instead. These 5 American makers have been building the same products for between 80 and 130 years. They do not need a celebrity campaign to explain their prices. The price is in the product, not on the label. Alden Shoe Company has been operating in Brockton, Massachusetts since 1884. The Tarlow family has owned it continuously since the 1950s. No private equity, no outside shareholders. Every pair of Alden dress shoes is Goodyear welted. The outsole can be replaced without touching the insole or the upper. These shoes can be resoled indefinitely. Alden sources shell cordovan from Horween Leather Company in Chicago, the only major North American producer of genuine shell cordovan. It is not skin. It is the dense fibrous tissue from the hindquarters of a horse. It does not crease the way calf leather does. It develops a patina over decades. A pair of Alden shell cordovan long wings retails at $700 to $900. In cost per wear terms over 20 years of proper maintenance, the comparison against a $700 Ferragamo is not close. Buy once, cry once. Buy from an authorized dealer. Secondary market prices on scarce cordovan colorways run inflated. American leather, American family, American factory. The Rizzoli record is the quality claim. Allen Edmonds has been building shoes in Port Washington, Wisconsin since 1922. One important fact first. The company was acquired by Caleres Inc. in 2016. Some quality inconsistencies have been documented since then. The recrafting program and Made in USA manufacturing remain active, but this is worth knowing going in. Goodyear welt on all dress shoes. The recrafting program sends the shoes back to the factory for resoling, reconditioning, and repair at approximately $100 to $150 per pair. Dress shoes run $400 to $600 at retail. The Park Avenue, the Fifth Avenue, the Strand wingtip. These are the legacy models with the strongest construction records. Recrafted twice over a decade, the cost per wear competes with products at twice the original price. Buy the classic dress models. Avoid the casual lines. That is not where this brand earns its place. Send them back when they need it. The recrafting program is a warranty stated in stitches. Red Wing Shoe Company has been operating in Red Wing, Minnesota since 1905. The Heritage line, Iron Ranger, Beckman, Classic Mock, Blacksmith, is entirely Goodyear welted. Red Wing owns its own tannery, SB Foot Tanning Company, also in Red Wing. The leather source is not a marketing claim. It is a company-owned facility in the same city as the factory. The Iron Ranger has been in continuous production since 1922. The construction has not changed. The Vibram sole is replaceable at any cobbler familiar with Goodyear welt. A Heritage boot runs $300 to $450. At $350, resold 3 times over 15 years, it costs less in real money than a $300 fashion boot replaced every 3 years. Buy from the Heritage line only. It is work in casual footwear, not a dress shoe. The supply chain fits in one sentence. The tannery is in the same city as the factory. Filson was founded in Seattle in 1897 by Clinton Filson, acquired by Bedrock Manufacturing in 2012. Tin cloth, oil finish waxed cotton, and Mackinac Cruiser wool are the core materials, named, documented, traceable. The tin cloth cruiser coat has been in continuous production since 1914 and weighs over 30 ounces. An LV Keepall retails at $1,700 to $2,400 in coated PVC canvas. A Filson duffel bag retails at $375 in waxed cotton with leather trim. Both hold your clothes. One discloses the material on the tag and has an active repair service that resews seams, replaces zippers, and re-waxes the fabric. Your money should go into the product, not the marketing department. Buy the tin cloth bags, the rugged twill range, and the Mackinac Cruiser. The newer lifestyle lines do not carry the same material story. Stick to the core. Real quality does not need to shout. The material is on the tag. The repair service is in Seattle. Oxford Clothes has been operating in Chicago since 1916, one of the last American makers of genuinely hand-sewn tailored clothing. Every Oxford suit uses full floating canvas. The interlining is attached with pick stitching, hand-sewn, not glued. It moves with the body. It does not bubble. Multiple United States presidents have worn Oxford suits. A Hugo Boss suit at $800 is fully fused. An Oxford suit starts at $2,500. The math over time looks different than it does at the register. The Hugo Boss suit will bubble and separate. The Oxford suit, properly maintained, will hold its structure as long as the cloth holds. The practical lifespan is 4 to 5 times that of a fused equivalent. There is a difference between expensive and well-made. Oxford qualifies as both. Oxford uses superfine wool from English and Italian mills. The fabric source is documented. They survived a century of American manufacturing decline because they refused to compromise on the hand-sewn process. 60 hand operations per suit. That is not a marketing claim. That is a production process. Hugo Boss does not publish a hand operation count. $2,500 for a suit is a good deal if the suit is still on your back in 2045. Before you spend, 4 questions. First, what material am I actually getting, and has the brand disclosed it in enough detail to verify? If the brand uses a proprietary name, find out what that actually means before you hand over the money. Second, is the construction repairable? Goodyear welt, floating canvas, and documented repair programs signal that the manufacturer expects the product to last. Fused interlinings and PVC canvas signal that the manufacturer does not. Third, would you still buy this without the logo? If the honest answer is no, the logo is the product. Know what you are paying for, and make that choice with open eyes. Fourth, what is the cost per wear over 5 years? An expensive repairable item very often costs less than a moderately priced disposable one. The math is not complicated. It just requires you to run it before the purchase instead of after. European luxury is not automatically better, and American-made is not automatically better either. The smart buyer looks past the logo and asks one question: is my money going into the product or into the story around the product?